so that I could validate where she's at and have a bit deeper understanding. And it's very much unraveled plural marriage for me, and it's made me a little bit cynical of marriage in general, of our family, and it has been sort of an endure to the end experience.
He always talks about his big picture, and I just think that if I am in that big picture, I'm just a really small spot.
It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's April 14th. We've got Sister Wives updates. Yesterday it was fans were concerned about Robin's health. Robin wants a baby. People are worried about her thyroid. And now fans are dragging Kody. Yes, that's right. Kody's being dragged by fans for treating his wives terribly this season and for using his confessionals to be angry, rude, and mean. Sounds about like Kody. Now, last week or 2 weeks ago, he and Meri had this sort of confrontation where they talked about how their relationship was really going nowhere. They were on friendlier terms, but they weren't really ready to be together. He wasn't ready to be romantic with her, and that if he wanted to be with her, she would need to be more lovable. Now that comment set fans into a tailspin because they feel like Kody is blaming the wives for his choices and constantly blame shifting and making himself the victim. Now in Kody's position, he's got 4 wives that he needs to keep happy all of the time. So he will probably always say it's their fault because it's Kody. So this week, people were even more annoyed because they were saying that Kody was being more sympathetic to Christine than he was to Meri. So in the episode, he said that when Christine shot down the one house idea, this made him realize that perhaps there was some truth to what she was saying, and that maybe there was some problems within this family, that there would be a reason for them not to be together. And then it made him, as trying to be sympathetic and understanding her point of view, made him realize his own issues with polygamy and understanding that maybe it isn't the right path moving forward for the family. As a result, he said he became cynical about plural marriage, and as a result, it created a lot of unrest and uneasiness. And then throw in the pandemic, he said that their family became more and more divided. Fans did not like that he was more sympathetic to Christine, but when it came to Meri, to understand her point of view, he refused to go there and instead blamed her for the catfishing stuff and basically blamed her for the position that they were in because you're not courting me, you're not showing me that you love me, you're not being lovable. Like, it's all on Meri's responsibility to do everything. Well, over on Twitter, because Mr. Kody loves to live stream or loves to live tweet, he had some things to say and fans were just not having it. For instance, he said, "I'm not being the victim here. I'm complaining about the situation. This family has no victims. We just see things from a different paradigm. We struggle to agree, but there are no victims." One person responded this and said, "I just can't agree with you. After watching how you treated Meri on your 30th anniversary, you were horrible to her. It breaks my heart. Maybe if you treated Meri the way that you treat others, she would be as happy as them. It's just hurtful." So he does seem to treat Meri differently and hold her to a different standard, and it could just be that their relationship and marriage is completely fractured and broken, so he just doesn't feel like he needs to put in the time or the effort. Now, he also noted that he has been very intense in interviews. He said, "I realize that I am very intense in these interviews. I'm angry. I got so much criticism from so many for how I was handling COVID etiquette and behavior. It has been a very different kind of hard on relationships." Now, some of you guys noted in my comments that you said that it drove you bonkers when people were defending him for following protocols when he was willingly going between house to house and not wearing a mask, and when he was with these people, he was not practicing social distancing. So while he was there, he was technically spreading all the germs that he was picking up at each one of the houses. And many of you felt like it was just him being able to control the situation so that he could spend most of his time with Robin and then isolate the other wives from one another some of you suggesting there's some sort of master plan with Kody potentially doing this to fracture the family permanently so he can just be with Robin. Now, I don't know if I believe that conspiracy, you guys, but I mean, anyways, he's definitely not following all protocols, but we also don't know if they were doing rapid testing. We don't know what kind of testing was being done by the film crews. But anyways, he also has so many people complaining because they're like, I'm sick and tired of hearing them complain about how hard this is because it's hard on everyone. One person says, our family did not get together, parents or adult sons. Their wives and children did not get together until this Easter after we were all vaccinated. This past Christmas, we celebrated over Zoom. We've had many sacrifices to keep our families safe over this last year. In response to Kody not properly, maybe, doing what he should for COVID. And he said, oh, we aren't the only family struggling. Yes, Kody, it's not all about you. Now, he then further elaborated that COVID is making him unravel. He said, it seems petty, but we are unraveling over COVID. It becomes obvious that we don't share the same values over etiquette and how to stay healthy. I had to defer to our doctor as we all had different opinions. Now, his doctor did have some valuable advice. I'm not sure why they didn't include wearing a mask, but that's just me. He said, our doctor and our old doctor both said that we should avoid contact as a whole family. Our safest course of action would be for only myself to go between homes. I don't really understand how this would have been the safest course of action, because if he's going in between homes, he's literally spreading this germs from one house to the next. It only takes one person to spread the virus. That's it. And if he's not getting regularly tested, he has no idea. And if he's going to Janelle's house where he claims that the kids are not following proper protocols and then bops on over to Robin's house, he still could potentially bring the virus there. So I don't know, maybe he's doing the best he could given the situation. But again, it seems really, really controlling on his part that says, well, I can go in between the houses, but you can't. It seems to me if one person is spreading it, they're all spreading it. Is that just me? I don't know. People kept continuing to drag him because of how he's blaming his sister, how he's blaming the sister wives about their code, their protocols, how he's been treating Meri, how he's been doing everything. Fans are just done with it. And at one point, he basically told people that he didn't want them to talk about him. This isn't a fight or a situation where people need to take sides or even give opinions. It is our problem. We will work it out as we should. This happens in marriage. And so what you think of me is none of my business. As people were chiming in about how he was treating Meri and how he was basically acting about Meri. And people just were not into that. They basically were like, you go on television, you're the one that makes it our business by having a show. One person said, telling your wife to be lovable, I don't want to criticize because yes, it's a personal situation. However, it is on TV. And that wasn't a comment you said in the moment. It was talking point out. Yes, he said it several times. It was extremely purposeful and mean-spirited. We are going to go on national TV and share our business, but we don't want anyone to have an opinion about it. And then someone responded, yes, makes a lot of sense. And then another one said, Kody, I've been watching your family and you and your family since you started, and I have a really important question. What happened to your core Christian beliefs? I've always respected your lifestyle because you said you felt it was what God wanted for you. What happened to that? That's actually a good question. I wonder if being far away from the church for so many years has really made them move away from their beliefs. And then another person said, the comment, you want to be loved and be lovable, was tough to hear with professed faith. I question the comment. So glad that by God's grace, he doesn't say that to us. So clearly they are not happy with them. One person said, this episode is so frustrating. A lot of viewers have so many questions about Meri and it's showing us all these filler stories. Honest question, is the family supposed to function like a wheel with you as the center? Not of the world, of course, but that holds the spokes and the family together. So people want answers about how he's treating Meri. People don't like that he's treating Meri like this, and he just doesn't want people to have an opinion on it, which seems completely ridiculous and totally like a cop-out. He's gonna blame COVID and his confessionals of being angry for saying hurtful things, but honestly, I just don't buy that. I'm on this fence here. Is Kody doing all of this so that he doesn't have to see the wives? Is he putting all of these things into place and pretending like he's being the martyr and the valiant person by keeping the family safe, even though technically he could be spreading it from house to house to house, which thereby would allow him to spend more time with his wife, Robin? and not with Christine, because this season we've seen him spend less time with Janelle, and next episode we're supposed to see him spending less time with Christine. Now, Janelle claims that this next week is the last episode, but I don't know if that's true, because there's supposed to be an episode where Christine talks about not being able to do marriage with Kody anymore, and I didn't see that in this upcoming preview. So I'm not sure if this next episode is the season finale, because that would make it only 10 for the season, or if there'll be more after this. As always, what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you believe Kody? Is there a master plan so that he doesn't have to spend time with the wives? Are you agreeing with fans that he's treating Meri like crap? And what do you think about how he's spreading COVID even though he's not spreading COVID? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.